Okay, now let's go on to the next discussion topic. Number 6. In the case of these 31 parts of the body, how does the yogi contemplate their nature of arising and vanishing? When you are doing anapanasati, you can see the arising and vanishing of your breath, right? When you're doing the postures, you can see how your postures change. When you are trying to practice clear knowing, you can also see how your feelings. Okay, if you're talking about kaya nupasana only, then you can see how your physical activities also change, right? But when it comes to these 31 parts of the body, how do you see the arising and vanishing, or how do you contemplate their nature of arising and vanishing?
Okay, when you contemplate on the hair, we will every day also we realize that our hair will drop and grow. So it's also part of the vanishing and arising. Sweat, the water element, you can see also your sweat appear when it's hot. Then when you dry it, it will just gone. So it's also arising and vanishing. As for the body parts, you will see that your body parts need to be nourished by food. So when you stop nourishment, then the body part will decay and gone, vanish. Same time, when you contemplate on the body parts, there will be. I mean, you look at as a person, you have the body is beautiful, it's complete, beautiful. So there's a lust there. But when you contemplate on the body parts, part by part, you see it's not that pleasant actually. There's some disgust. So there's vanishing of your lust. So there's a rising and vanishing of lust. That's what we discussed in group. Thank you.
Okay. Any comments from anyone? This is supposed to be body contemplation. So, arising and vanishing of lust is not really part of the meditation. You're supposed to do body contemplation. You're supposed to see the nature of arising of the body parts. Yeah. So do you think it's possible? Maybe it's not possible. Yeah, and you can't really experience it, but you can sort of think about it. Like you say, every day the hair falls, and then you're going to get old. Your skin is going to get wrinkled. And you can sort of manipulate your image to make it grow old, yeah, and your hair becomes from black to grey, your skin becomes wrinkled, your heart fails. I'm sure you don't visualize that, okay? So you wonder whether the vipassana refrain really fits or not, and whether it should be there or not, Or is it because this is only an Abhidhamika view? Abhidhamikas are those people who maintain that in order to do vipassana, we must only contemplate ultimate realities, so-called ultimate realities, paramattha dhamma. Paramattha dhamma, according to the Abhidhamikas, refer to those things that we can experience directly without having to go through any conceptual or thinking process. For example, when you were doing elements, you can actually experience the elements no matter what you call them. You need not necessarily call them earth element, fire element, water element, and so forth. You can just experience the sensations of hardness, softness, heat and cold and so forth, right? You don't need to have any labeling to experience that. But for the 31 parts of the body, you have to imagine. First of all, I have to show you the pictures, and then you have to imagine them, try to make an imprint in your mind. Or if you're a housewife, then you try to recollect those times when you were dissecting a chicken, right? Or you go to the wet market to buy, some pork and some things from the butcher. So this all needs a lot of imagination. And according to them, these are not paramattha dhammas. These are not ultimate realities, and they are conceptual realities. In Pali, that's called panyati. According to the Abhidhammikas, only paramattha dhammas which comprise rupa, citta, cittasika, can be used as vipassana objects. Rupa means what you can experience in your body, for example, the elements, or your other four sense objects, sound, smells, colors, right, tastes, besides the elements. And also citta and cittasika, there is a list of cittas and cittasikas that you are supposed to know and experience according to the Abhidhamma. So if you talk about the 31 parts of the body, they don't exhibit the three characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta, because they are a concept, and concepts don't exhibit these three characteristics. Only paramattha dhammas, or ultimate realities, exhibit the three characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. So if we make use of this abhidhammic principle, then it's not possible to look at the nature of arising and passing away of the 31 parts of the body, right? And yet this is found in the refrain. So there's something wrong. There's something wrong either with the refrain, it shouldn't be there, or there's something wrong with the Abhidhammika's idea that only paramattha dhammas can be used for vipassana. Okay, I want you to, I'm sure that you all have practiced the Mahasi method before. And they don't teach you the two parts of the body, right? They teach you elements. I mean elements in the sense that you are watching the rising and falling of the abdomen. That's supposed to be the wind element. Then you're supposed to be aware of the daily activities, mostly also a lot of movement, right? But nothing is really taught about on the 32 parts of the body. That's because of this Abhidhammika view. To them, it's not possible to see the arising and passing away of the 31 parts of the body in terms of the body, In terms of mental images, you can see them arising and pass away. But that is under Dhammanupassana. It's not under Kayanupassana. So that's why in the Mahasi practice, when images arise in the course of a meditation, the skeleton or corpse or whatever, you don't linger and try to develop those images. You just are aware of them as another vipassana image, as an image of the mind that arises in you. Watch it until it goes away. There's a difference in the Thai forest tradition, because the Thai forest tradition is not so abhidhammika. In fact, they are some of them are anti-abhidhamma, right? And as I said earlier, it is standard practice for the Thai forest monks to do these 32 parts of the body. And for them, because Thailand is a Buddhist country, so very easy for them to request a Buddhist doctor to allow them to witness an autopsy. For them, it's not just looking at photos, they really go to the mortuary and then observe the actual autopsy. And then the good doctor will say, okay, this is the heart, this is the lungs, this is the kidneys, you show them. There's one interesting story of one American monk. There was many years ago, 30 over years ago, one 6-footer American monk who went to observe an autopsy. He went in there to look at all the parts exhibited by the doctor, and as he stepped out of the mortuary, he fainted. The impression that you get from a 3D, on the spot, in situ experience, is very, very different from just looking at the 2D photograph. I have also a Dhamma friend from Singapore. He said that several years ago there was a tall building collapse in Singapore, and he was involved in helping in the rescue operations. And he said he could never forget the stench of the corpses. Even until now, whenever he thinks about it, he can actually remember the smell in his mind. So having a direct experience is a bit different. So coming back to the Thai forest tradition, what they do is that they remember these 31 parts of the body or 32 parts of the body by heart, and they keep on doing it. And if any of these images become very clear in their mind, then they would hold on to it and try to manipulate that image to make it disappear, make it grow old. For example, to imagine yourself, growing old, and then you are a corpse, and then you go to various stages of decay. And if a skeleton were to appear to you, you make use of your imagination to actually disintegrate the skeleton, make it go back into the elements. Right? So this all involves a lot of imagination, a lot of manipulation. But still, they say that by doing that, you can see impermanence. You have a sense of impermanence. It's not you. Things go dissolve back into the four great elements. When you are engaged in such activity, automatically your mind, is separated from lust. It is far away from lust, and your mind also is far away from the other hindrances. And when the mind has achieved that sort of composure, then they switch their attention to watch the five aggregates, which we will talk about later. So this is part of the Thai forest practice.